Hello and welcome to Book Buzz, brought to you by Peters Township Public Library. I'm Miss Shannon.
And I'm Miss Linda. And this time we're back with the Book Buzz Book Talk. So we filled you up with all the events on the last episode. Yep. Now we are going to fill you up with some of the books that are in our department.
Yeah.
And we brought some fun ones. And
always.
We like to start with featuring an author. So this month I picked Lois Lowry as an author. Yes, very good choice and really interesting story that we're gonna feature her today. So let me just tell you a few things about Ms. Lowry. Well, first of all, here's one of the reasons why I chose her. First of all, I do like her books, and you're going to learn more about them. But I had reached out to her a few years ago asking her if she would speak with the Southwest chapter of the Pennsylvania Library Association, which at that year I was chair, and we were having it one of the colleges, and she offered to do it Zoom, or whatever we were using at that time. And I was like, would you consider it? And, what would you charge? It would be so much fun to hear about you, especially because, as you're going to hear, she had some banned books. Some of her books, were trying to be banned, as they do. So she was absolutely in favor of being with us. So she was wonderful on her meeting with us, and we could see her, she could see us, and she took the questions and told us a lot, a lot
That's
about.
Awesome.
Yeah, very, very, very nice, humble lady. I was impressed. So beginning, what was interesting too, she was a daughter of, and then ended up marrying in the military. So she traveled around. You read some of the bios that when they're involved with the military, they've lived all over the world. And that was Lois. I mean, she's gone to many schools and studied like different things. Of course, one was literature. As a matter of fact, the one book that I'll bring up, I don't think I has sent a picture of it. It's called Autumn Street. And this is a newer version of it that we have at the library because it has an author's note. And they consider this to be the most autobiographical book, about her life. So if you want to read, and get that flavor of her life, you want to read Autumn Street. But some of the big books that she wrote were Number of the Stars. So we're going to be, which, I like all of her books, and I like them for different reasons. She writes different things, and she's been known to write things that cover difficult topics, and that's how she has become so good, and yet controversial, I guess, in some things. Yes, difficult subject matter, but it allows younger readers to understand it. And she's unafraid to confront things like racism, death, illness, discrimination, and as in Number of the Stars, the Holocaust. Her novels take these subjects and put them in a context that allows young readers to see their full impact without them being completely traumatized, which is true. Well, with these two books in particular, The Giver, we can do The Giver. The Giver was her first Newbery Medal, the Newbery Award. She won it, I believe the book came out in 1989, and she won the 1990 Newbery Medal for this one, for The Giver. And then, okay, and we'll just talk. The Giver was the one that was trying to be banned. The people had banned it. And for all kinds of, when people try to challenge books, it's for different reasons. you know, different people have different thoughts and different values or different whatever thought processes in particular, and I think that's what happened with this too. But she, of course, it was published, and then she won when it was. We said in 1991 the Pulitzer, maybe.
Not yet.
No, not yet. The Newbery, and then soon after she won a Newbery for Number of the Stars. And Number of the Stars, I do not believe was challenged. And you know what the cool thing is too? When she was younger, her family moved to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So she is from Pennsylvania. And the first time I went through Carlisle, it was actually recently, and I think it was on the way to the the State Library Association meeting. And Carlisle is, I think it was then, but anyway, Carlisle is such a quaint town. In 1942. Her dad was deployed to the Pacific during the World War II. And you know what? As a lot of writers have, I would say probably all of them, started reading at an early age and just kept reading and reading and reading. Then they start writing and writing. She began reading at 3.
Wow.
3 years old. And she skipped the 2nd grade. Wow. And then as a child, she dreamed of becoming a writer. And guess what? If you dream hard enough and you try hard enough, you know, your dreams can come true. You just have to work at it. By 2000, I guess some of her books, especially The Giver, received a diversity of reactions. But by 2008, of her books had been challenged.
Yeah, I feel like Number of the Stars
in
has
schools
been too,
and libraries. Let me find. Yeah. So, well, if it were 8 of her books, I wouldn't be surprised if this one, and especially, well, you know what, the Holocaust books get challenged for various reasons, and depends on your thought processes. Again, everybody believes different things. And although these were not banned and pulled from libraries, at least I'm sure specific ones probably, or a school or whatever, but definitely not in the most because of our freedom to read.
Yeah.
So, Lois Lowry.
So good.
I would so look into her and so read her books.
Yep.
Very, very
The Giver
good.
was very groundbreaking because it was the first dystopian novel like ever. And it wasn't until about 20 years later that dystopian really became so trendy.
Yeah.
You know, she was so groundbreaking in that aspect. Several years ago, a graphic novelist came out with their own ad that worked with Lois to make a, we've talked about this multiple times on Book Buzz, where they take a book and make a graphic novel about it. And not to do much spoiling, but in The Giver, like, a lot of people cannot see in color. So a lot of the book in the graphic novel is in black and white. However, as the character learns more about his life, he does start to see things in color. So a little bit of color kind of pops in the novel as it goes until the very end when it's kind of all in color, which I thought was such an interesting way to illustrate
I love it.
that.
It really, I love it. It really, I thought was so creative.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you can
I'm so
read the
glad you
book
brought it and thought of it.
or read the graphic novel. We have both. We also do have the movie. So you're welcome. And Linda's done that with book clubs and stuff over the years too. That's such a very famous book. I actually had to read it as required reading in college.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a good required reading. It is. It's so different.
And it's a good book club book because there's so much to talk about.
There was a lot to talk about. All right. Well,
cool.
Lois Lowry, thank you for your contribution
and come
to
check
literature.
out some of our books at the library. We do, and she has that one series. It's more for like younger readers, like the Goonie Bird.
Oh
like,
yeah,
so
that came out, in later years.
right. So she's got lots of them. So
Yep.
come and see us
Oh my
and
gosh,
get some of
the
her books.
selection of Lois Lowry books is large, and we have a lot of them, if not all of them.
Right.
So
Check them out. Okay, cool. Well, let's talk some more about books. Do you want to go first?
Oh,
or you want me to go
absolutely.
first?
You go.
Okay.
I've been talking a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you love
Well,
to.
thanks for yeah, I do. But thanks for chiming in.
Well, and it leads right into what so when I saw that you're bringing Lois Lowry
Yeah,
as
I'm
your
glad
featured
you
author,
did.
and I decided to grab this, it kind of made my wheels turn of what I wanted to talk about.
good.
So, we have the graphic novels are so neat in the sense that they really give a different avenue to read a book. And I know we talked about this before, but so I want to talk about it again. So I brought Romeo and Juliet as a graphic novel. So this is a required reading in a lot of schools. They have to read Romeo and Juliet or some form of Shakespeare. And Shakespeare can be very difficult to read and understand what's happening. So they still use a lot of his text, but they use the illustrations too. So that kind of helps you understand more of what's going on in the story. So if you do have to read works of Shakespeare, most works of Shakespeare we do actually have as graphic novels at the library. We have this one, we have Macbeth, we have Hamlet. So it's a kind of neat way to understand the story more because you can see the visuals as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because I agree. I find Shakespeare is challenging.
Yes. And there's even like translations of like when he uses a particular term that like you wouldn't really hear, what does that mean? So, yeah.
Nice.
And there they are. There's Romeo and Juliet at the Masquerade Ball. So yeah, so a very interesting way to kind of to read. So always check out our graphic novels. People tend to dismiss them, but it's a really different, it's a neat way to read a book.
I think parents in particular tend to dismiss it. They worry about it. My child only wants to read graphic novels. But because of the popularity of graphic novels, they're not all just like Captain Underpants and the ones that are known for being funny and comical, which will draw your kid in. I say, for me, it's like your child is reading.
Right.
Let them read and enjoy what they're reading. But now what's happening with graphic novels, so many of the books are now being turned into graphic novels.
Yeah.
So your child isn't just going in and picking out what you would consider like a comic book, like Miss Shannon said, you're talking a lot of classics that are coming out, and it's just wonderful. There's so many. So I agree.
Yep.
Do not dismiss graphic novels. We have a whole section. Come in and check them out.
Yep, they're
There's
great
a
for
lot
our
of good
struggling
ones.
readers. They're really great to help appreciate the arts. There's a lot to them.
Absolutely.
I have more of them talking about later, but I'll
Okay.
I'll let you go and talk about
Okay, let's talk about, this one. All right, so what I brought today to discuss are 2 times a year, Miss Shannon and I have a blast.
Only twice a year we can have fun.
We don't even like each other any other time of the year, so twice a year we'll have fun. No, we really take a good hard look at our nonfiction section, and we weed them, and pull out, even though some things don't change, but versions of them change, so if, the person, their biography might not have changed, but there's a new version of it with more maybe updated pictures or a lot of things like that. So we weed the old and replace it with the new. And actually that has to do with, I can't remember if I brought a state one, I don't think so, but are the president ones. I mean, we went through and updated, we're in the process of processing them, updated every president.
Yep.
So we have this whole line of presidential.
Just new, nice to look at books.
Oh, so nice.
Yep.
Really, really quality from quality publishers. So we get to do this. So what I brought was some examples of some of the new nonfiction that we are bringing into our collection. So the first one, and we got this series on this, which I'll tell you what's included, which I'm excited about because I need to learn more about this. I just dabble in it, is AI.
Yeah.
So artificial intelligence, this is AI basics. And so in the 1940s, the first programmed computers were created. Over time, scientists created better computers modeled after the human brain. They didn't use me as an example. These days, computers can create art or help students with their homework. What will they do in the coming years? Dive in to learn about the past, present, and future of AI. So with this series of AI, which I intend to read every one of them because I'm serious, I really need to learn more about it. We have the whole collection from this collection, from this series. AI and the arts, AI basics, AI safety, the challenges of AI, the future of AI, and how AI works.
Cool.
So come in and check out.
It is a hot topic, and it's
is.
something that, yeah, like I agree. There's not much that I know, and there's just so much that can be done, and it's kind of crazy, yeah, what this is going to mean for us.
And the pictures in these books that we pick out, just like we said about the presidents, top quality.
Yeah.
Great pictures, great text, great quality book. So we're real happy with it. So check out our new AI section.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, and I saw that you were doing that, so I piggybacked. So this is a brand new one we just got for our teen nonfiction.
Nice.
About making podcasts.
Oh, I want to make one.
So that's kind of like a trendy thing right now. Here we got this guy with Chewbacca. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
So like that's so many of these celebrities are doing podcasts, like, the football players, Travis and Jason Kelce. Michelle Obama has a podcast out right now. Like, there's so many people that are celebrities that are doing these podcasts, and they are like so popular. But it's a thing that pretty much anybody can do. So it kind of talks to you about how they make one, and themes to use, different technology, different people who have done podcasts, stuff like that. So it's all about podcasting, because it's a really, just like AI, this is a really trendy, up and coming thing that's really gaining popularity. So if you want to learn more about podcasts, you can get this book out, brand new nonfiction for us.
I think it's great. My son was doing them for a while. Nick was doing them out. He's in Idaho, and was doing them with a friend, and they would bring in different people for different topics.
Yes.
And it went real well. I know that his life has really gotten busier with the different things. So I haven't heard of him making one lately. I'll have to ask him about that. But I would love to do a podcast. I only have one problem. I don't know what I would discuss. I don't. I like to talk, but I don't know what do a whole podcast about. What do you think?
I think you would be fine. I think we could do Book Buzz as a podcast, and it would be fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I don't know if anybody would listen.
Yeah. Well,
if you watch us, you'll listen to us.
Okay. All right. So we're moving on to more of our nonfiction. This is a series that's called Calling All Community Heroes. And I like this series a lot. And why this is fun to update it is actually this one these are different than some of the ones that we have. Community Heroes will talk about like the specific people, like a police officer, a day in the life of a police officer, or
School teacher.
Yeah, exactly. Different people. This one goes a little further, and in this collection, this one is Who Puts Out Wildfires, as an example. More in this is Who Answers 911 Calls, Who Cleans Up Oil Spills.
Oh.
Yeah, Who Does Search and Rescue, Who Puts Out Wildfires, the one we're seeing, Who Saves Animals in Danger, and Who Saves People in Storms.
Cool.
So how about those for different topics on community heroes that we don't talk about? They are like in the background doing very important things.
Yep.
And we don't see them
That's
necessarily.
awesome.
Look, that's crazy.
That's a photograph. That's
crazy scary, that one. I wonder,
Yep.
I think of poor California when I look at stuff like that. So Calling All Community Heroes, another great series in our nonfiction.
Nice. All right, so backing up again to the graphic novels. So I also brought two other ones. So as you know, we talked about being adapted. So I know you love. Actually, I've never read this.
Funny you should say. I had to read that for masters.
Yeah,
that was one of the required reading.
Yeah.
Was the Graveyard Book, and I was glad because
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. So this is the graphic novel version of that. And this is pretty new. This is Every Day by David Leviathan. So every day is this boy wakes up and every day he's in a different body. Well, you don't even know if he's a boy. So because some days he's not. Some days he's a girl. Sometimes he's a old man. Sometimes he's a little kid. Whatever. And so this is the graphic, but then this character always ends up finding this, whatever he wakes up as, tends to go back and still find the same girl and be in her life in some way that day. So I've read the book. The book came out about 10, 15 years ago, and now there is a graphic novel adaptation of it. So I think that's just a different, neat way and it's cool too to read both. Like if you really loved a book and then reading the graphic novel to see how that illustrator adapted the story. I haven't read the Giver one all the way through. I've just flipped through it a little bit, but I think it'd be cool to read that. Or if you are not interested in reading the full book but just want to know what the story is, this is another way of getting that story, but in a different format. So
again, really cool graphic novel books.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
next
love this
series. I know we're gonna get it ready. Who doesn't want to know more about Taylor Swift? And what's funny is, just when you think, oh my gosh, there's so many books out about Taylor Swift, which there are, this little series, it's called Everything Taylor Swift. And the books, this one is called From the Beginning. And in this series is Master of Her Music, How Taylor Swift Conquered the Music Industry, Taylor and the Swifties, cute, Taylor Swift From the Beginning, which this is, Taylor Swift's Music Through the Eras, Country Darling, the Global Superstar, Taylor Swift's Songwriting, Love, Poetry, and Addressing the Haters, and the Taylor Swift Effect from Fashion to Football.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
She has an effect. So we do have all of those in a new little series about Taylor Swift.
They're going to fly.
As soon as we get them ready to be checked out, they will fly.
They're going to go. We all went to Bower Hill Library, MPV Library, to talk to the kids about our library there. And I remember one thing I noticed at Bower Hill, and I'm sure PV had it too, I just didn't catch it, was she had one bin of her Taylor Swift books, and it's limit one per person. Because everybody wants them. So they have to do that because they can't, there's only so much to go around.
And you know what? Why not? I mean, she's a good role model and has done so much.
And she's it's popular.
Good for her and good for the kids.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And it's good for the library because, if we buy Taylor Swift books, they're going to circulate.
They're going to go out. Yep. Your turn. Do you have anything?
Sure. So It is May.
Oh.
So we talked a little bit about this last
May the 4th.
May the 4th. So we have, as soon as you walk into our department, a huge Star Wars display. My son Lucas put together for us for Take Your Child to Work Day. We have Star Wars books literally from babies to like senior citizens. There is something for every age reader of Star Wars. This particular one that I have is the most recent from the High Republic series, Into the Light by Claudia Gray. There's so many like different series. There's picture books, there's toddler books, there's cookbooks, there's nonfiction books with Star Wars Lego collections, there's chapter books, there's paperback novels, everything you can possibly think of, graphic novels of Star Wars. And I particularly decided to bring this one because this is brand new. The High Republic series is a really popular series for a teen or a mature child reader, but the adults read it too, because that's the thing too is Star Wars is the fandom really, it just ranges. And I think that's going to continue because kids that now that grew up with Star Wars like are now having kids or grandkids. Right. You know, because it's been around for so long. And they keep making more. So, you know, and then with all the different things that have been added into different theme parks and things that have Star Wars, like it's just it's everywhere. Yes. So yeah. So another brand new Star Wars book to celebrate, you know, read a good Star Wars book for May the 4th.
We have less than a minute.
Okay, good. One more.
Yeah, one more book. And I want to skip to this because I think it's perfect for the young ones, and we get a lot of questions about this. This one is called Stranger Safety. It's a Staying Safe series. So it'll go in the series is bike safety, fire safety, road safety, stranger safety, water safety, and weather safety. And in particular, that I get asked about books is stranger safety. And boy, it's hard to talk about some subjects without scaring them. Right. You know, they need to have a little bit of fear in them, I think of, you know. Caution. Caution is a better word. But the way they put this in here, we play outside, we stay in our yard. Okay, nothing scary about that. It just feels like, you know. And the picture glossaries. Some strangers are okay, but never go with them. Tell a parent if you feel scared. And this is how we stay safe. And there are all kinds of different positive things in here for kids to remind them. Good. They're good to have. And I like. One thing I noticed is just like the photographs are so real, and they really have like nice diversity in them. Like, it's just really. I really appreciated the way these books. Yeah. So yes, I liked it. So, and there are more that we didn't even get to. So come and visit us and check them out for yourself. Yeah, come and check out the nonfiction and some of the new series that we just talked about and more. Yeah. All right. And then next time, we'll have more to talk about. Sounds good. We always have more to talk about. And we always have new books. Yes, always new books. All right. All right. Well, we'll see everybody in June for summer reading. For summer reading, we'll talk. Yep, we'll talk about June and what's going on, which is going to be a lot. Yes. How are we going to squeeze all that in? We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Yeah. All right. See you next time for June activities.